Has it in the right corner. Harding driving right to left into the lane, flips it back out long to Chapman. Rickott picks up the dribble at the right elbow, bounce pass into the lane for Braxton. Braxton drives, leans in, banks it short. Rebound cleared by Idogi, who had good position defensively on Zach. Back the other way for Iona, it's Lewis dropping it down low for Griffin. Hands it off to Idogi, back out top to Mudge. Mudge drives, can't penetrate, now gets by Rickott. Chapman drops it off down low left for Griffin. His shot blocked by Chapman. Loose ball on the floor, scramble is on, and Iona comes up with it with 9 to shoot. McGill has it top of the arc, three-pointer over Harding, won't go. Rebound tipped by Braxton, can't get it. Griffin gets it, lays it up too hard, and now Braxton with a rebound for the Wildcats. Chapman into the forecourt, 2-2 ball game, 2.5 minutes have gone by. Braxton low left, bounce pass off the foot of Kozak, goes back to Zach, kicks it to Richardson, three-pointer is good. Ryan Richardson with the triple from out top, and the Wildcats lead at 5-2. Deshaun Much answers with a three of his own from the right side. They transition quickly even after a make, so the game is tied at 5. Now Chapman has the handle lost, stolen away, back the other way, McGill. McGill the alley-oop, and it's slammed down by Idogi, his first two, and it's 7-5 in favor of Iona, their first lead. Ball tipped out of bounds right by us. It'll be a Wildcat ball to inbound at midcourt. Substitution, the first of the game, goes to Iona as Cedric Casimir checks in. 5'10" junior from Stamford, Connecticut. Had 3 points, 2 rebounds against the Wildcats last year in Anchorage. Chapman drops it down low left for Braxton. Braxton spins on Idogi, goes left, goes right, and slams it down. Nice move by Zach Braxton for his first 2 points. And the Wildcats have tied it at 7. Top of the arc, Griffin pulls up at the foul line, throws it left for Casimir. Casimir right side for Lewis. Zach Lewis on the drive, up over Kozak, good, and he's fouled. Zach Lewis with a strong drive. Kozak able to get him with the body and across the arm, but still Lewis able to fight his way through and kiss it off the glass and in, and a chance for the three-point play. The foul on Michael Kozak, his first team foul on the Wildcats. Iona now with a 9-7 lead. Lewis so far this year has made his only previous free throw attempt. Lewis playing for his third Division I school, spent 2 years at Canisius and played last year at UMass. Sinks the free throw, so he completes the trifecta. It's 10-7. Iona with a lead. Harding double team in the backcourt, gets it away to Kozak. Kozak will dribble up the left side, and now has his pocket picked by Lewis. Lewis on the drive to the basket, lays it up and in. Zach Lewis with the steal and the bucket, and it's a 12-7 Iona lead, a 5-0 run. Wildcats. Kozak flips it to Harding. Harding behind the back dribbles. He crosses midcourt, drives the lane, goes all the way to the basket, and loses it, but it's tipped out of bounds by Casimir. And so Weber State will inbound from the left baseline. Harding will be the trigger. 19 seconds to shoot. He'll lob it out long to Chapman. He'll flip it back to Harding on the left wing. Jarrett drops it down low, or tried to drop it down low to Kozak, but it's tipped out of bounds by Zach Lewis. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 15:56 to go here in the first half. It's Iona 12, the Wildcats 7. This is Wildcat basketball on 1430 KLO.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home. Hey.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
Wildcat basketball on a Friday night brought to you in part by ZipRecruiter. Find qualified candidates quickly and easily with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Leading job site for Wildcat fans everywhere. For a free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Weber State. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Weber State. Wildcat shooting 50%, 3 of 6, but Iona 63%, 5 of 8. Wildcats, though, have committed the only 2 turnovers. They came into the game averaging just 10.5 turnovers per game. And Iona scored 4 points off of the miscues by the Wildcats. Harding to inbound, left baseline. No substitutions at the timeout. 14 seconds left on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Harding slaps, motion begins. He'll lob it out long to Chapman. Out one dribble, hands to Richardson between the rings. He'll drop it down low left for Braxton. We got a whistle and a walk. Called on Zach, the Wildcats' 3rd turnover, as he shuffled his feet before putting the ball to the hardwood. So it'll be Iona basketball. Up the left side, it's McGill. McGill picked up by Harding at the hash. Dribbles to the middle of the floor, drop pass down to the right side, and Zach Lewis. Lewis can't penetrate, he'll back out. Now drives left to the lane, leaves it for McGill. McGill, he penetrates the lane, goes all the way to the basket, flips it off the glass and in. Circus shot, and McGill got it to go. He's got 4. 7-0 run now for the Gales. Kozak in the backcourt will dribble across the timeline. Bounce lead for Chapman, picked off by Lewis. 4th Wildcat turnover. Lewis up the left side for Griffin. Griffin hook pass into the right corner, and Casimir shuffled his feet. And that leads to Iona's first turnover. Substitution as Deshaun Much comes back in for Iona, and Zach Lewis will get a breather. So it'll be Wildcat basketball. Harding in the backcourt. Guarded one-on-one by Much. Flips it up the left side for Kozak. Kozak into the forecourt. Picks up the dribble. Bounce pass to Chapman. Right side Richardson into the right corner. Harding open for a long 2. Rimming, no! Kozak the rebound, and he gets knocked to the floor by Casimir. That'll be Casimir's first, 2nd team foul against Iona here in the half. The Wildcats now with their first substitution as Dusty Baker checks in. Baker, the 6'4 senior from Coto de Caza, California, averaging 7 points a game. He'll come in for Kozak. And the Wildcats will inbound left baseline. Lob out long to Chapman. Fakes the 3, drives right by DeYogi, scoops it up and in. Nice move by Brakat Chapman for his first 2. Wildcats snap the 7-0 run. It's a 14-9 ball game in favor of Iona. Casimir right of the lane, leaves it for Griffin. Griffin drives, tosses into the right corner. Edogi for 3 off the side of the glass. Rebound, Karam's out to Harding. 1-on-3. Jarek all the way to the hoop, lays it in. He didn't care it was 1-on-3. Jarek, the stout-outed sophomore, takes it to the rack, and it's 13-9. Griffin holding. Loses it, knocked away by Chapman in a walk. So a turnover, the second on Iona. The Wildcats down 14-11 as they fix the scoreboard. Wildcats have turned it over 4 times. Iona forced 14 turnovers last year in the game in Anchorage. Iona only committed 6 the entire game. Harding walks it through the center circle into the front court, picked up by Zach Lewis. Hook pass between the rings for Baker. He'll flip it to Richardson on the right side. Richardson lobs to Chapman right baseline. He spins and travels going to the hardwood. This crew calling a lot of traveling violations already. So 5th Wildcat turnover, and back comes Iona. McGill into the front court. Lobs it ahead for E.J. Crawford, who's checked in. Gives to Lewis. Lewis drives in from the left side, gets around Baker and lays it in. Back Lewis with a nice move to the rack. He's got 7. 16-11, Iona by 5. Chapman ahead to Harding. Harding down the middle, all the way to the hoop, lost it on the way up. Takes a hard fall, back comes McGill the other way around. Chapman flips it up, no. He was out of control. Baker, long outlet for Harding. Harding on the way to the hoop. He'll float it high up in the air and through. Tough shot. And Harding gets it to go. He's got 4. The Wildcats are back to within 3. 16-13 with 13:15 on a turning clock to play in the first half. Much at the top of the arc goes to Crawford. He'll hand to Lewis. Lewis back between the rings and Edogi. Edogi holding, gives it up to Lewis. Lewis left side, picked up by Baker, 7 to shoot. Lewis on the drive, goes all the way to the rack, scoops it under the arm of Baker and lays it in. Zach Lewis came into this game averaging 10 points in the first 2 contests, and he already has 9. Here's Richardson taking the long pass from Baker, driving the right baseline and laying it in. Ryan Richardson now with 5. The Wildcats are back to within 3 again at 18-15. Out top, Edogi has it. Looking inside, nothing there. Gives to McGill. McGill, right side for Much. Deshaun Much for 3 off the back iron, no good. The rebound on the floor, picked up by Harding. Jarek will push it up the left side. Drives the lane all the way to the hoop, scoops it up with a right-handed in. Somehow bobbed and weaved his way through traffic. Jarek with a half dozen, and the Wildcats are back to within 1 at 18-17. McGill lobs inside for Lewis, who scoops it up with left-handed in. Zach Lewis now with 11. And it's back to a 3-point Iona lead at 20-17. Harding leaves for Dusty Baker, back to Jarek. Harding will dribble to the left side of the floor, pick up the bounce, flip it back between the rings and Richardson. Richardson to the right elbow, Chapman, 15-footer is good. Bricott Chapman with 4, and the Wildcats are back to within 1 at 20-19. Long lead left side with it is Edogi for Iona. Nothing there, so he'll back it out. Gives it up to Zach Lewis. Lewis gets pushed by Chapman to the floor. The foul going to be called on Bricott Chapman, his first. That's the second team foul on the Wildcats. Timeout on the floor. Fast pace here in the early going. 11:31 to play in the first half. It's Iona 20, the Wildcats 19 here on 1430 KLO.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home. Hey.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
One Credit Union. Join America First to be part of a winning financial team. Go to americafirst.com or any branch for details, and go Wildcats. Wildcats shooting 64% now, 9 of 14. Iona 60% at 9 of 15. 20-19, Wildcats trail by 1. Iona with the basketball in the front court. It's Casimir. Casimir around his screen to the left side. Flips it back to Much. And now we got a whistle on an offensive foul away from the ball. It's going to be on Gavin Kinsmill, who just checked in, a 6'7", 230-pound freshman from Suriname. So Wildcats with the ball and a chance to regain the lead. Right corner, Chapman fakes the 3, and landing on top of him is Kinsmill, who quickly picks up his second foul. 4th team foul on Iona. Chapman never released the shot, so it's a common foul. The Wildcats will inbound. But first, Roland Griffin will come in, and Kinsmill's going to have to sit down with 2 fouls. Pick that up in the stretch of about 45 seconds. Dusty Baker takes it out near midcourt off the inbound. Throws it to Trayvon Ari-Turner, who's checked in. Left wing, Chapman drives into the paint, leaves it for Harding. Jarrett bounces inside, ball knocked away, picked up by E.J. Crawford for Iona off the turnover. Crawford down the middle of the floor, into the lane, all the way to the hoop. No good. Chapman may have gotten a piece of it, and then Crawford fouls, trying to get it back. E.J. Crawford with his first fifth team foul on Iona. Trayvon Ari-Turner in, the 6'3 freshman from Issaquah, Washington. And now here comes Jarek Harding again. The Wildcats with a chance to get the lead. Left side, Baker, hard bounce pass to Kozak on the left base. Skip pass deflected and out of bounds, headed this way. It'll be Wildcat ball with 17 to shoot. Jarek Harding out and Doc Nelson checks in. 6'1 freshman from Houston, Texas, averaging 6 points a game. So Ari-Turner has it wide right. Dribble drive on Crawford, stops, double team, flips it back to Chapman. Brickott drives the lane on Griffin. He'll floor up a floater, no. Rebound Kozak, and he's fouled from behind. Kozak with good inside position there. Foul will be on Jans Vonderlik, who checked in, the 6'7 graduate student from the Czech Republic. Same hometown as Michael Kozak, Pilsen. Kozak off the inbound, gives to Nelson. Nelson on the drive, throws up a runner, way off the mark. Rebound tipped loose. Casimir diving for it on the floor, and it's out of bounds to the Wildcats. Good hustle by Casimir, who ends up under the scorer's table on the other side. Might have picked up a little floor burn and 2 old pieces of gum. Nelson up the left side for Baker. Out top, Ari-Turner gives it to Brickott Chapman. Chapman drives on much all the way to the basket. No, Griffin may have gotten a piece of it, and Griffin pulls down the rebound for Iona. Roland Griffin leaves it for Crawford. Right side for Casimir. Casimir can't penetrate against Nelson. He'll leave it for Much. Much between the circles, dribbles to the right sideline, picks up the bounce, throws it to Crawford. Crawford will lean in 10-footer, that's short, gets his own miss, shot blocked by Chapman and a foul. I believe that'll be on Brickott, and that's his second. Substitution for the Wildcats coming up, I believe, but after the first free throw. E.J. Crawford to the line, where he's 5 of 7 from the stripe so far this year. Again, Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference all-rookie selection last year. As a freshman, his free throw is good. That's his first point as Braxton's in and Chapman is out. 9:41 to go in the first half. 2-point Iona lead now, 21-19. One more for Crawford, who had 11 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist before fouling out last year against the Wildcats. Makes the second, so it's a 3-point Iona lead. Kozak in the backcourt, pressured, gives it up to Nelson. Nelson races up the left side to beat the 10-second count. Gives it to Baker between the circles. Dusty one dribble, fires it inside to Braxton, who shovels for Kozak, who's fouled on the way up. Good ball movement for the Wildcats, and Kozak will shoot 2. It's on Roland Griffin, the foul. That's his first, and that's the 7th team foul on Iona. And so Kozak to shoot 2. He's 3 of 3 at the line so far this season. Last year was playing on the Czech Republic's national team for under 18 as he misses the first free throw. Casimir and Vonderlik out for Iona. As Idogi checks in. So does McGill. And Crawford is still in. So one more free throw for Kozak. That one's high off the iron, no good. He missed them both. Still a 3-point Iona lead. Griffin between the circles. Behind the back dribble. Top of the arc jumper. No. Rebound tipped in on a 2-hand slam by TK Idogi. That's his 4th point, and it's back to a 5-point Iona lead. Ari-Turner into the front court, right side for Baker. Left side Nelson, lob down low left for Braxton. He's double teamed, dribbles out of the double team, Bounces to Kozak in the lane, leaves it for Braxton. Wide left, it's Dusty Baker, 6 to shoot. Braxton down low left, dribbles, turns, jump hook, no. Rebound, battle for, and pulled down by Griffin for Iona. Ahead for Crawford. Crawford has it poked away, but a reach-in foul. Going to be called on Dusty Baker. Dusty with his first. That is just the 4th team foul on the Wildcats. Ryan Richardson checking back in for Dusty. Now Zach Lewis returns, and Deshaun Much goes back to the bench for Iona. 8:40 to go, first half. 24-19 in favor of the Gales. McGill up the left side, picked up by Nelson. McGill behind the back dribble, drives left of the lane with Nelson on his hip. Spins, turns, jump shot, good. Ricky McGill with a half dozen. And now it's a 26-19 lead. Biggest lead of the game for Iona, or I should say it equals their biggest lead. Right side, Ari Turner behind the back dribble, loses it. They're going to call a bump on Ricky McGill, and that's his first. His crew calling the game very tightly. So a 1-and-1 opportunity for Trayvon Ari Turner, who's 0 for 2 for the line so far this year. Averaged 19 points, 5 assists as a senior last year at Elite Prep in Seattle. Free throw, no good. And Griffin with a rebound. The Wildcats now 0 for 3 from the stripe tonight. Crawford leaves for Griffin, nothing there. Griffin hook pass to the left side. Crawford shoots a 3, in and out. Rebound Kozak for the Wildcats. That's his third. Up the right side for Ari Turner. Veers to the middle. Pass inside for Kozak. Tipped away by McGill. Picked up by Edogi. Leads for Crawford, who lays it in. E.J. Crawford off the turnover. He's got 4. And Randy Ray wants to talk it over. Wildcats now with 7 turnovers in the game, and they have led to 10 Iona points. So there's a timeout on the floor, 7:46 to go in the first half. It's Iona 28, the Wildcats 19. This is Weber State basketball on 1430 KLO.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
Wildcat basketball brought to you in part by John Watson Chevrolet, a proud sponsor of Weber State basketball and a great place to buy your next car or truck. Love your Chevy, love your dealership, John Watson Chevrolet. Wildcats in need of a bucket this trip down. 8-0 run for Iona after the Wildcats had a couple of opportunities to take the lead. Harding and Nelson on the floor together in the backcourt. Richardson lobs it down low left for Braxton. Braxton into a cutting Jarek Harding, drives, lays it up short against defensive pressure from Zach Lewis. Back comes McGill up the left side. Veers into the middle, pull-up jumper at the foul line, no. And we've got a whistle and a foul on one of the Gales as Jarek Harding was knocked to the floor. See who it's on. An offensive foul, so no free throws. Foul is on TK Edogi, his first. That's the 19th foul on Iona, so the Wildcats will be in the double bonus after this. And now they're saying it was a loose ball foul. So Jarek Harding will go to the line for the 1-1. Jarek 7 of 8 from the stripe so far this year. The Wildcats 0 for 3 from the foul line in this game. Make it 0 for 4 as it rattles in and out. Wildcats came into this game shooting 76% from the line. Crawford drives. Good pressure defense by Braxton. Rebound Kozak. Richardson up the right side. Right wing Harding. Back out to Ryan Richardson. Richardson looking inside. Nothing there. They swing it around left for Nelson. Nelson lobs down low left to Braxton. He's double teamed. Gets it away to Harding. Harding on the drive. Right corner. Richardson out to Nelson. Right elbow jumper is short. Rebound Jarek Harding for the Wildcats and a fresh 30 for Weber State. Richardson left elbow. His jumper is good. Ryan Richardson was 7. 28-21 Iona. Lewis in the right corner. Griffin at the top of the arc. Iona really turns it around quickly even after a Wildcat make. Crawford between the rings. Picked up by Richardson. Left to right around an Edogi screen. Leaves it for Lewis. Lewis behind the back dribble. Had it, lost it, gets it back, gives it to Griffin. Griffin on the drive, up over Kozak. High arcing jumper won't go, and Kozak with another rebound. That's his 5th. Richardson in the forecourt for the Wildcats. Lobs it foul line, and Zach Braxton. Zach holding, still holding. Now dribbles to his left, stops and shuffled his feet. 8th Wildcat turnover, gives it back to Iona. So now Griffin out and much back in for Iona. Wildcats 8 turnovers, and again they are averaging 10.5 coming in after the first 2 games. Right sideline, McGill has it for Iona. Gives it to Lewis between the rings. Swings it left for Crawford. Crawford holding against Kozak. The Edogi gives it up to Lewis. Lewis on the drive, in the lane, to the basket, lays it in off the glass with the left hand. Zach Lewis with 13 points here in the first half, and it's 30-21. Iona back up by 9, equaling their biggest lead. Richardson, left elbow Braxton, hands to Ryan, back up for a 3, no. Long rebound to Lewis. Outlet for Edogi, gets behind the defense and throws it down with the right hand. PK Edogi with the one-hand jam, and the Wildcats take a timeout. We'll keep it here with 5:22 left to play here in the first half. Oh, it is a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here. Wildcat basketball brought to you in part by Les Olson. Some things are better.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home. Hey.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
13-12 advantage on the glass as well. Dan Iona came into this game ranked 133rd in the Ken Pomeroy rankings. The Wildcats 194th. Wildcats need to play well this last 5:22 of the first half to get back in this one. Down 11 now at 32-21. Burkott Chapman between the circles, comes right, throws it back left for Harding. Harding around a Braxton screen to the foul line, hands to Richardson. Ryan spins, loses it, picked up by Edogi, ahead for Much, back to Edogi for the two-hand slam off the alley-oop. Edogi rather with 8. Another Wildcat turnover leading to Iona points. Right side Chapman. Chapman drives on Much, stops, pops from 7, way off the mark. Braxton tips the rebound to Harding, and Jarek drives in from the left side and slices in for the layup. He's got 8. Long outlet the other way, too far for Edogi, out of bounds over the end line. Iona with just their 4th turnover. As McGill sits and Cedric Casimir checks back in for Iona. Wildcats down 11, 34-23. Kozak out top, hands to Burkott Chapman on the left side. Chapman loops it to Braxton, hands to Burkott. Burkott stops, flips it left for Kozak. Bounce pass down low left for Braxton, spins on Edogi, drives and gets fouled. Zach Braxton will go to the line to shoot 2. Zach, 8 out of 12 for the line so far. Foul is on Edogi, and that's his second. Just a reminder, the Wildcats win. It'll be another 6 o'clock tip-off against Northern Kentucky. If they're not able to come back against Iona tonight, it'll be a noon start Mountain Time against James Madison as Braxton knocks down the first free throw. He's got 3. Wildcats' first free throw make of the night. They're 1 for 5. Roland Griffin back in as Edogi, picking up his second foul, goes to the bench for the Gales. One more for Zach, who started his 70th straight game of his Weber State career. Makes the second. He's got 4. 34-25 Iona. Right sideline with it is Casimir. Flips it between the circles and Lewis. Lewis gets it back from Crawford, right wing against Prakat Chapman. Shakes and bakes, curls to the foul line, leaves it behind for Crawford. Crawford on the drive, all the way to the basket, lays it up and in. Got it up and over Kozak. E.J. Crawford now with 6, and it's back to a double-digit Iona lead, 36-25. We're under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Chapman around a Braxton screen to his right. Now gives to Kozak, hands to Richardson. Left side Harding, Jarek for 3, in and out, and back in again. Jarek Harding now with 11. Wildcats back to within 8, 36-28. Crawford to the forecourt. That one hung on the iron for a couple of counts before falling in. Casimir drives, stutter step to the foul line, leaves it behind for Griffin. Gives it back to Casimir at the right elbow, spins on Harding, drives to the basket and lays it in. Casimir with his first 2, and it's 38-28 Iona. Richardson leaves for Harding. 3 minutes to go, first half. Wildcats down 10. Chapman, top of the arc, lobs it for Braxton down low, spins, jump hook with the left hand, won't fall. Crawford cleans the glass for Iona. Crawford down the middle of the floor, leaves it for Casimir. Casimir out near midcourt, looking to the bench for the play call. Picked up by Harding between the rings, comes back to the right side around a Griffin screen. 13 to shoot. Crawford, top of the arc, holding, flips it back to Casimir on the right side. Casimir spins on Harding, stops, shoots a 16-footer, in and out. Rebound Braxton for the Wildcats. Here comes Harding the other way from left to right. Behind the back dribble, drives on Casimir, throws it high off the window and in. Good, tough shot by Harding. He's got 13. Wildcats back to within 8. Lewis left side 3 off the front iron. Tip jam won't go. As Much got high in the sky, tried to jam it home, but it rattled in and out. 2 minutes to go, first half. Wildcats down 8. Right side, Kozak open for 3 offline. Rebound pulled down by Much for Iona. Deshaun Much leaves it for the trailer Griffin. Griffin into the lane, stops. Throws it into the right corner for Casimir. He'll lob it back out top to Much. Still haven't had the under 4 media timeout. Crawford driving to the foul line, stops, throws it to Casimir. Casimir leaves for Lewis. Lewis driving right side, gets bumped to the foul. Either Chapman or Kozak. And it's on Brakat, and that'll be his 3rd. Timeout on the floor with 1:31 to go here in the first half. Iona 38, the Wildcats 30, here on 1430 KLO.
It's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home. Hey.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
Wildcat basketball brought to you in part by Hampton Cleaners. 100 years and we're just getting started. Hampton Superior Dry Cleaning. You know us, you trust us. Serving your family since 1917. Wildcats with Dusty Baker, Michael Kozak, Trayvon Ari Turner, Jarek Harding, and Ryan Richardson on the floor. Jans Funderlich, Roland Griffin, Ricky McGill, Deshaun Much, and Cedric Casimir on the floor for Iona. Driving right of the lane, all the way to the basket. McGill off the glass too hard. Baker with a rebound. Ahead up the left side for Richardson to the trailer Harding. Leaves it for Baker. Baker gives to Ari Turner, who throws it back to Richardson between the rings. Hand to Harding, 18 to shoot. Derek Harding against Casimir. Dribbles into the right corner. Gives for Richardson, and an offensive foul called on Richardson as Casimir takes the charge. Richardson picks up his first foul, 16th foul on the Wildcats here in the first half with 1:05 to go. And the Wildcats down by 8, 38-30. They mop up the moisture off the floor. As Vonderlich plays it in to McGill. McGill throws it left for Griffin, who curls back into the middle. Drives on Kozak, goes to the basket, kisses it off the window and in. Roland Griffin with his first two, and it's back to a double-digit lead for Iona, 40-30, with 47 seconds and counting left to play in the first half. Ari Turner throws it off the knee of Kozak, picked up by Much. Deshaun Much, stutter step move, gives it to Casimir, who walked. Traveling on Iona, that's their fifth turnover. One fewer than the entire game last year in Anchorage. Again, things weren't called as tight, I don't believe, in that one. About a 6-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Chuck White, the president of Weber State University, will be joining me at halftime. Richardson leaves it for Dusty Baker. Baker hands to Harding. Jarek, top of the arc, drives on Griffin, leans in over Casimir. It's a rounded out. Griffin with a rebound for Iona. They can play it for the last shot if they want. Griffin will leave it to Much. 10 seconds to go. And timeout taken by Tim Cluse, the head coach. He'll spend his use it or lose it 30-second timeout here. Wildcat basketball brought to you in part by Zions Bank. At Zions Bank, we haven't forgotten who keeps us in business. We'll also take a look at the stats in the first half, as well as some of the other scores in college basketball. Steve Klauke with you, my parsimonious broadcast partner. David Patton did not make the trip. He'll rejoin me a week from tomorrow, where the Wildcats take on Black Hill State. 7 o'clock tip-off from the D Event Center. After this trip, the Wildcats don't leave the state of Utah again until the second weekend of January. Other than the quick trip to Fresno State for a game there on November 30th, they'll spend the entire month of December at home. The only road games are the game against BYU at Vivint Smart Home Arena and at Utah Valley. So 10 seconds left, McGill at midcourt. Throws it left to the lane, Casimir, down low left, Griffin backs it on Kozak. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's it. They don't get a shot off, and that's the end of the first half. A first half that saw the Iona Gales force the Wildcats into 11 turnovers, leading to 16 points, and that really is the difference in this game. It was 20-19 Iona at one juncture, and the Wildcats, 21-20 Iona, but they have outscored the Wildcats 19-10 since then. At halftime here in Nassau, it's Iona 40, Weber State 30. Back with halftime next here on 1430 KLO.
Harding has 13.
I'm blaming the first half on my breakfast. I had a drink with it.
So did I. Oh man. That's Michael Kozak.
You're all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Halftime in Nassau, the Wildcats trailing Iona by a score of 40-30. Taking a look at the statistics in the first half for the Wildcats, 13 of 29 from the field, 45%, 2 of 5 from downtown, 40%, and just 2 of 6 from the foul line, 33%. Iona, 51% from the field, 18 of 35, 1 of 7 from three-point range, 14%, and they've made all 3 of their free throws. Rebound edge goes to the Gales, 19-16. Turnovers, the big story. 11 in the first half of the Wildcats, and Iona picking up 16 points off of those turnovers. Gales with 6 turnovers, the Wildcats converting those into just 4 points. Wildcats do have a 6-4 edge in second chance points, but Iona's reserves have outscored the Wildcat bench 8-0, and Iona is dominated inside as they've outscored the Wildcats in the paint 32-16. Individually, Jarek Harding leads the Wildcats with 13 points on 6 out of 11 shooting. He also has 3 rebounds and an assist. 7 points for Ryan Richardson, 4 each for Prakat Chapman and Zach Braxton. Michael Kozak with 2. Kozak the leading rebounder with 5. For Iona, they're led in scoring by Zach Lewis with 13 points on 6 out of 8 from the field, and he made his only free throw. 8 points for TK Idogi, 6 each for Ricky McGill and EJ Crawford, 3 for Deshaun Much, and 2 apiece for Cedric Casimir and Roland Griffin. At the half, the Wildcats trail 40-30. We'll be back with the president of Weber State University, Chuck White, right after this here on 1430 KLO. I was talking to the Iona coach before the game, and he said, you know, it's kind of funny. It's, you know, obviously it's a lot nicer and a lot warmer than the tournament last year in Anchorage, but inside the building it was a lot more comfortable in Anchorage. But they don't have any choice. If they let it get warm here, then the condensation starts on the floor and they slip and slide all over the place.
Right.
That stadium across the street, that's where they play the bowl game every year. They started a Bahamas bowl game about 2 or 3 years ago, ESPN did.
Yeah, this big sports complex here. But a little gym.
Yes, I think when I got here, they were having swimming practice over there. And welcome back to Kendall Isaacs National Gymnasium here in Nassau at the Islands of the Bahamas Showcase. Wildcats trailing 40-30 here at halftime. And joining me now is the president of Weber State University, Chuck White. And always great to have you stop by, Chuck. And before we talk about athletics, where things are really going well, certainly so far in this 2017-2018 season, what's new and exciting as far as the campus itself?
Wow, a lot of great things going on. Enrollments are up. We're building 2 buildings right now, and going to start 2 more, we hope, after just a little while. Things are going really well.
Yeah, other than trying to find a parking spot.
Are you a student?
I try to spend some of my hard-earned money at the bookstore and, get some of this nice gear, and it's hard to park, but I understand. Actually, it's good for me because then I can park out on Harrison and walk in and get some exercise at the same time.
Well, if you take the bus in, you'll be doing sustainability a favor too.
Well, it's funny. Is it, I've always wondered this, is it noticeable when the athletic teams, like as well as the football team is doing right now, does that put a little hop in people's step on campus?
It does on campus, and it does in the community as well. People get excited about the university, and they come up to the university to see the games and hang around, and it's a good atmosphere.
You had to be pleased. I noticed the other day they came out, and the graduation success rate for the athletic department now is at 77% better than the general population. You really have to be pleased with that.
I'm really pleased. Football team is doing really well in math. It's really good to see the coaches and the academic advisors really helping our athletes be very successful as students.
Well, they have something to live up to. If Damian Lillard, an all-pro NBA star, can come back and get his degree, I can too, right?
We are so proud of him.
Exactly. It's been a fun year for Jay Hill and his crew, and of course a chance to win a co-championship in the conference tomorrow. And volleyball made its first trip to the Big Sky tournament since 2008, although they lost in 4 sets yesterday. We know what kind of a program Randy Ray has. You got to be proud of the way everything and all the teams have come together and are succeeding under the leadership of Jerry Bovee.
Yeah, Jerry Bovee is one of the great athletic directors in the Big Sky Conference and in the state of Utah, and he's doing a terrific job. All our coaches are doing great. I just couldn't be prouder.
I want to get back to the construction part of what's going on campus. What actually is being built?
So we have a big remodeling project of our social science building, and when that's done, it will become Lindquist Hall. Mm-hmm. And we're building the Catherine W. Dumke and Ezekiel R. Dumke Center for Interprofessional Education in Healthcare up by Stewart Stadium.
Okay.
And we are just finishing up a project, geothermal well project, part of our sustainability effort out by Harrison Boulevard. And that's under the rugby field, and right now they're reestablishing the rugby field in the snow. And so things are going great.
Talk a little bit about the sustainability project, because I know that's something that there are different stories, or different sides of the issue that people want to talk about, but it's really something that we all have to think about.
It is, and Weber State did it differently than most other universities. We actually started in our facilities management area doing pretty simple things like putting in LED lighting and better insulation. Every time we do a remodel, we put in high efficiency windows and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And so over a period of about 8 years now, we've built up a lot of savings, and now we save about $2 million a year on our fuel and power bills just by doing some pretty simple things like saving electricity and putting in a solar field in Davis, and now 2 geothermal fields on our Ogden campus.
Well, there's more than just sports when you talk about Weber State. Weber State, great, 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 and we appreciate you stopping by, and enjoy the rest of the tournament and this just awful weather that we're having to go through here in Nassau.
It's beautiful out there. Thanks, Steve.
All right, thank you. Chuck White, Weber State University president, back with the out-of-town scoreboard next here on 1430 KLO. All right, time now to take a look at the Ogden Regional scoreboard and other games involving Big Sky schools. At halftime, Northern Arizona trailing in Tempe against Arizona State 54-27. Later on, Sacramento State's at the University of San Francisco. Eastern Washington visits UNLV, and Northern Colorado is at Pepperdine. Earlier today, in the first round of this inaugural Islands of the Bahamas Showcase, Vermont edged Bradley 65-64. Coastal Carolina defeated Texas San Antonio 83-69, and Northern Kentucky topped James Madison 87-78. Again, a Wildcat win, and they'll take on Northern Kentucky in the semifinals at 6 tomorrow. A loss, they'll take on James Madison at noon Mountain Time in the consolation bracket of the semifinals of the consolation bracket. Elsewhere in college basketball, a couple of other scores of note as we peruse the scoreboard. Number 18, Louisville defeats Nebraska Omaha by a score of 87-78. Other games involving top 25 teams around college basketball on this Friday night. Second half, number 1 Duke taking on Southern University. No update on that now. 2:45 to go in the second half. 77-58 Blue Devils. Number 4 Kansas leading South Dakota State at the half. 57-28. Number 16 Texas A&M leading Santa Barbara 46-32. Number 5 Villanova leading Lafayette at halftime 56-23. And that's a look at the college scoreboard. One score in the NBA. The Jazz very short-handed tonight, and it shows. 8:14 to go in the third quarter. They're trailing at Brooklyn against the Nets, 73-58. We'll have the second half of tonight's game here between the Wildcats and the Gales. Iona leading 40-30 here on 1430 KLO. Wildcats find themselves trailing by 10 as we get ready to start the second half. Bricott Chapman in foul trouble. He'll start the second half with 3 fouls. Nobody else for Weber State with more than 1. TK Idoki and Gavin Kensmill each with 2 for Iona. Wildcats start the second half with that starting 5 on the floor. Jarek Harding, Michael Kozak, Ryan Richardson, Bricott Chapman, and Zach Braxton. In their purple road uniforms, silver gray numbers trimmed in white. Iona in the second half will start Roland Griffin, TK Adogi, Deshaun Much, Ricky McGill, and Zach Lewis. So both teams with their starting 5s on the floor to begin the second half. Iona will have the ball at midcourt. The Gales will be moving from our left to our right as we view the hardwood here at Kendall Isaacs National Gymnasium. And so ball's put into play, and it's McGill up the right side. Gives it to Much. Now around to the left side, it's Lewis. Flips it back to McGill along the left sideline. Left to right around a Griffin screen. Leaves for Lewis. Nothing there. He'll get it to McGill. Lob to the foul line and Griffin. Griffin backs in on Braxton. Hook pass back to midcourt. Stolen away by Ryan Richardson, who gets tripped up. And so Ryan Richardson called for foul, and Zach Braxton coming to help pick him up. Slips and falls as well. So they're going to have to pick up some moisture over there. Nice steal by Ryan Richardson, who's a little bit slow to get up. The foul. See who they call it on. They call it on McGill. That's his second. First team foul on Iona for the second half. Wildcats to inbound, right baseline front court. Jarek Harding to trigger. Harding will lob it out long to Kozak. Michael, one dribble, hands to Harding. Jarek between the rings, picked up by Much. Runs it to the right side. Stops, spins it into the middle for Kozak. Kozak left for Richardson. Ryan lobs down low left for Braxton, deflected. Braxton gets it back to Ryan Richardson for three. Zingo the strings. Ryan Richardson with 10. That's his second triple. Wildcats within 7. Back the other way. Much on the drive. Flips it off the glass. No good. We got a whistle and a foul on the rebound. And I believe it's on Bricott Chapman, and that's his fourth. And so Dusty Baker will have to come off the bench. Again, the Wildcats still a little short-handed with the bigs, with Jordan Dallas still out. Probably for another week or so. Off the inbound, McGill will heave it into the backcourt for Zach Lewis. 40-33, Wildcats down by 7. Lewis gives to McGill on the weave. He'll hand it back to Such. Deshaun Such, right corner. Lewis for three, off the bracket, no good. Rebound tipped and controlled by Richardson. Ryan up the left side, into the front court. Picks up the dribble, bounce pass down low left for Kozak. Spins to his left, in trouble, double team, ducks under, and his shot blocked. Over the end line by Roland Griffin. It'll be out of bounds for the Wildcats with 18 to shoot. Once again, it'll be Harding to inbound. Slaps and leaves it out long for Baker. Tipped around by Lewis. Lewis with the steal to the basket. Lays it up short. Rebound, Dusty Baker. Wildcats have been a little soft on their passes and have paid the price. Here's Jarek Harding on the drive all the way to the basket. Lays it in. Jarek with 15. The Wildcats are within 5 at 40-35. Griffin on the drive. In the lane. Has his pocket picked. Ahead it goes to Richardson off the steal by Baker. Richardson right side. Harding, Jarek on the drive, flips it up, no, and he's fouled, and Jarek will go to the line to shoot two. Foul on Roland Griffin is second. The Wildcats coming out a little harder here, but also, again, they need to be a little bit crisper with their passes. They've had too many little soft passes deflected and stolen away by the Gales. Timeout taken by Iona. 18:20 to go here in the second half. It's now the Gales 40, Wildcats 35 here on 1430 KLO.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
Time now for our Recruit of the Game, powered by Zip Recruiter. Trayvon Ari Turner is a freshman with the Wildcats out of Issaquah, Washington. He was highly recruited out of high school, played his senior season for Elite Prep in Seattle, where he averaged 19 points and 5 assists per game. His father was his head coach at Elite Prep. Prior to attending Elite Prep, he went to Issaquah High School. He was a first-team all-conference selection as a sophomore. He is majoring in economics at Weber State. Trayvon Ari Turner, our recruit of the game, powered by Zip Recruiter, the smartest way to hire. So Jarek Harding will go to the line to shoot two. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Chance to get the Wildcats back to within 3. The lefty will push it up and through. 16 points for Jarek Harding to lead all scorers. The former Kansas Player of the Year. Second one is good. 17 for Harding, and the Wildcats are back to within 3. 40-37 as they have outscored Iona 7-0 to start the second half. Casimir in now for Iona, gives it to Lewis along the left sideline. It goes to McGill, back out top to Lewis. Lewis swings it left for McGill, back out top, Lewis has it. Lewis throws it into the right corner. Casimir pump fakes, fires, 16-footer, short, rebound. Good box out by Dusty Baker so that Ryan Richardson can pick it up. Richardson into the front court. Lobs it down low for Kozak to Braxton, right side Harding. Harding fakes the three, gives it up to Kozak. They swing it around, left corner, Richardson for three. Short with a shot. Rebound cleared by McGill. That would have tied it. McGill up the left side, Lewis to the trailer McGill. Swings it right for Casimir. Lob down low right. With it is Hidogi. Hidogi backs in on Kozak, still right to left across the lane. Flips it out long to Lewis as nothing was there. Lewis hook pass left side. Griffin on the drive. Over Braxton, lays it up, no. Rebound tipped and Dusty Baker comes away with it. Wildcats 3-on-3. Richardson right corner, the trailer Harding. Jarek on the drive to the basket, scoops it off the glass and in. Jarek Harding with 19. It's a 9-0 Wildcat run. 40-39 Iona, 3 minutes into the second half. McGill right sideline, cross court to the left side and Lewis. Back out top McGill. Ricky McGill holds it, swings it to the right side and Casimir. Now left side Lewis for three, that's too strong. Kozak battling for the rebound. Hidogi shot blocked by Braxton. Bounces it out to Casimir as Iona keeps it. Out top McGill who reloads the offense, waving his right hand aloud. McGill swings it right for Casimir. Three ball over Richardson is good. Cedric Casimir knocks down a big three, his first 3-point make of the year. And that builds the Iona lead back to 4 at 43-39. Richardson out top Baker, into the right corner, Harding wide open for three. No, Braxton the offensive rebound. Back to Harding in the right corner, nothing there. He'll flip it out to Baker. Dusty fires it left side, Richardson left corner three, yes! Ryan Richardson with 13, that's his third triple. Wildcats back to within one. Casimir drives right to left under the basket. Griffin, right side McGill for three over Kozak, that's short. Hidogi with the offensive rebound. Back to Lewis. Lewis on the drive, scoops it up with the left hand. No good. We got a whistle and out of bounds. It goes to the Wildcats. As that ball hit Zach Lewis as he was down on the end line. Tim Close wanting a foul on that drive, but none forthcoming. Timeout on the floor. 15:36 to go in the second half. It is now Iona 43 and the Wildcats 42 here on 1430 KLO. For over 65 years, Bank of Utah has been helping our community grow with friendly personal service and unbeaten financial know-how. Bank of Utah and Weber State Wildcat basketball, your hometown favorites. Ogden Regional scoreboard update, 3:58 to go in the first quarter. The Wildcat women trailing Utah by a score of 15-11. For the Wildcats facing some full court pressure on the inbound. Baker gets it into Richardson and Casimir steps in front but knocked it off his right foot. Back over the end line of the Wildcats. And again, Dusty will trigger. Baker looking, and Harding gets the inbound after McGill went down. Here's Baker down the middle. Hook pass left side. Richardson for three, and the lead. Got it! Ryan Richardson with 16-9 here in the second half, and the Wildcats lead at 45-43. Wildcats in his zone. Iona has struggled to solve it so far. Lewis out top to Casimir. Casimir against Ari Turner. Scoops it left side for Lewis. Around the horn, right for Crawford. Out top Casimir. Long three over Harding is good. Nothing but nylon for Cedric Casimir. He's got 8. And that puts Iona back in front by 1, 46-45. Under 15 to play here in the second half. Harding up the right side, hands to Ari Turner. Trayvon gives it to Richardson between the rings. Richardson throws it left for Ari Turner. He drives into the lane, behind the back dribble, in traffic, and it's stolen away by Casimir. Flips it to Lewis, ahead for Crawford. Crawford slams into Baker, and they're going to call it on Dusty and count the basket. So Baker picks up his second foul. And Crawford, who got the bounce there, will have a chance for the three-point play. E.J. Crawford so far tonight has not made a three. He's 0 for 6 on the season after leading the MAC last year at 45%. But Crawford hits the free throw. 5 straight Iona points after the Wildcats took a 1-point lead, or a 2-point lead rather. It's a 6-0 run, 49-45 Iona. Harding between the circles. Comes to the right side, spins it back to Baker, nearly poked away by Lewis. Richardson lobs down low left for Braxton, double team, hard bounce pass to Baker, around the horn, right corner, Harding for 3, got it! Jarek Harding now with 22, and the Wildcats are back to within 1, 49-48. 14 minutes left in regulation. Casimir right wing 3, got it. Cedric Casimir with his third triple of the second half. 52-48, Gales with a lead. Baker in the backcourt, pressured by McGill. Harding will clear, so Baker will take it one-on-one up the floor against McGill. Baker over the line, hands to Ari Turner. Ari Turner holding, hands to Harding. Jarek out near midcourt, picked up by McGill. Left side for Richardson, curls back into the middle, McGill still there. Now left side Ari Turner, inside to Braxton, and had it stripped away at the last moment as he was going in for the dunk. Zach Lewis getting his hand on that one and knocking it free out of the grasp of Zach Braxton as Lewis goes to the bench, and Deshaun Much checks back in for Iona. Harding plays it into Braxton, right baseline, jump hook, no. Rebound cleared by Idogi for Iona. Ahead for Crawford, who leaves it for Much. Back to Crawford, left wing 3, good. E.J. Crawford now with a dozen. That's 3 more points than he had scored in the first 2 games combined. 55-48, Iona back up by 7. Baker's inbounds pass stolen and laid up and in by Much. Timeout taken by the Wildcats. That was a problem last year, struggles to get the ball inbounds at times. And so all of a sudden the Wildcats, who had taken a 1-point lead, find themselves down by 9. So 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here. Wildcat basketball brought to you in part by Peterson Incorporated. At Peterson Incorporated, we strive for total customer satisfaction through continuous improvement of systems, processes, and products. 8-0 run for Iona right now, and 14-3 run for the Gales over the last 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Now the Wildcats had taken a 45-43 lead with 15:30 to go. So in less than 3 minutes, Iona has roared back to a 9-point advantage. They've led by as many as 13. The Wildcats' biggest lead, 3 at 5-2. Ryan Richardson into the front court again. Rakat Chapman saddled on the bench with 4 fouls. Harding out near midcourt. Wildcats now with 14 turnovers to 8 for Iona. Iona has outscored the Wildcats 21-9 off the turnovers. Here's another one as Richardson throws it over the head of Dusty Baker, cutting to the basket. Turnover number 15 for the Wildcats, who had committed 21 in the first 2 games combined. McGill into the forecourt is Ricky. Doc Nelson will check in at the next whistle. Asmir, they swing it around the left side. With it is McGill to Much. Bounce pass inside for Idogi, who lays it in. TK Idogi now with 10. He's the 4th Gale to reach double figures in scoring. Baker up the right side. Ari Turner for 3, an air ball over the end line. And it's out of bounds to Iona, and there'll be a timeout on the floor. With 11:57 to go, the Wildcats find themselves down by double digits again. It is Iona 59, Weber State 48. Here on 1430 KLO.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home. Hey.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
Wildcats here in the second half. 6 out of 11 from the field. Iona 7 out of 16, but again, turnover is a problem for the Wildcats. 15 leading to 23 points for the Gales. Iona 8 turnovers leading to just 9 points for the Wildcats. And Iona off the last Wildcat turnover will bring it up the floor. Ricky McGill up the right side. Comes into the middle with the dribble around Nelson, drives to the basket, all the way to the hoop, flows it off the glass, no good. Kozak with a rebound for the Wildcats. Outlet up to Nelson up the left side. Ricky will take it all the way to the basket, lay it up short. Crawford the rebound. Crawford may have gotten a piece of the shot initially. Asmir top of the arc against Riley Court, who has checked in, the 6'4 freshman from Pleasant Grove. Lob inside Idogi, up over Kozak, he lays it in. TK Idogi now with a dozen. And now Iona has equaled its biggest lead at 13, 61-48. Harding down the middle, jumps up over the defender and lays it in as Casimir tried to take a charge. Jarek Harding with 24, 61-50 Iona, 11 minutes to play. Out near midcourt, it's Much as he backs up. Bounce pass to the right side, and McGill dribbles into the middle, down the lane, all the way to the basket, leaves it underneath for Idogi, who lays it in. Or Idogi, rather, with a lay-in. He's got 14. 63-50, great penetration there. And then the drop-off. Good assist by McGill there. His 6th of the game. Court, one dribble, holds, still holds. Now he'll flip it back for Harding, deflected and stolen by McGill. McGill, the basket, lays it in. Another turnover leading directly to points for Iona, and they now have their biggest lead of the game at 65-50. Nelson up the right side. Now the Wildcats got the second half off with a great surge to take the lead, but it's been all Iona since a 16-2 run. Harding in the lane, hook pass behind him to Dusty Baker, a three-pointer on the way, too strong. Long rebound, Nelson had it go off his hip out of bounds. And so it'll be Iona basketball as we've passed the midway point of the second half. Riley Court back on the bench as Ryan Richardson checks back in. And Bracott Chapman still on the bench with 4 fouls. McGill through the center circle to the right side, hooks it back into the middle for Griffin. Griffin drives on Baker, throws it back out top to Crawford. E.J. Crawford hands to McGill. McGill step back on Nelson. Nothing there. 9 to shoot. Crawford between the rings. Right side, Casimir. Casimir shakes and bakes. Gets by Harding. Drive to the basket. Lays it up. No. Rebound Kozak for the Wildcats, and that's his 8th. Here comes Weber State from right to left. Harding to the foul line. Kicks it back to Richardson. Richardson lost the handle on it, but gets it back. Bounce pass to Harding. Harding left the lane, all the way to the basket. Shot blocked by Griffin. Loose ball. Kozak gets a hand on it, but here comes Iona. Much drives on Baker all the way to the basket on Richardson. He'll lay it in. Deshaun Much with 7, and now it's a 67-50 Iona lead with 9 minutes to play. Richardson. His pass deflected and touched out of bounds by Roland Griffin. It'll be Zach Braxton back in for the Wildcats, replacing Dusty Baker. It'll be Ryan Richardson to inbound, left sideline of the front court. Richardson will play it into Nelson. Bounce pass to the right elbow, and Kozak squares up to the basket on Crawford. Fires it right baseline for Richardson. Richardson against Casimir defensively. Richardson, fadeaway 15-footer, rolls the iron, no good. Kozak had the rebound, saved over the end line, no. It's off the body of Crawford, out of bounds. It'll go to the Wildcats with 8:30 to go. 67-50 Iona. Lob into Braxton on the right baseline. Zach double team, bounces for Nelson, stolen away by McGill. 2-on-1 McGill, alley-oop. Lobs it in for Much, he can't get the layup to go. Wildcats have numbers 3-on-2. Harding down the middle, underneath to Kozak. He'll lay it up short, gets his own miss and puts it back up and in. Michael Kozak with 4, 67-52. Much foul line extended right, leaves it for McGill. Between the rings and Crawford. 8 minutes to go, Wildcats down 15. Griffin just inside the arc, his jumper is good. Roland Griffin with 4. 69-52 Iona. Griffin, who started his college career at Illinois State after playing high school basketball for one of the top programs in the state of Illinois, West Aurora High School. Here's a steal by Much. Much is going to go all the way to the basket himself and lay it in. Deshaun Much with 9. 71-52, Iona with its biggest lead. Harding across midcourt, directing traffic. Gives to Nelson, out top Kozak, swings it left for Richardson. Harding out top, 3 ball on the way, rattles home. Jarek Harding with a game high 27. 71-55 Iona with 7 minutes to go. Casimir between the circles. He'll launch a 3 over Harding off the front iron. Braxton with a rebound for the Wildcats. Bounce pass inside to Ryan Richardson with a one-hand dunk. Ryan Richardson now with 18. The Wildcats are back to within 14. 71-57. Crawford looking to the bench for the play call as he dribbles between the circles. Calls McGill over, who takes the handoff, flips it to the left sideline, and Much curls in the lane. Bounce pass Griffin underneath to Casimir. Out top Crawford for 3. No. Rebound Harding for the Wildcats. Long outlet for Richardson. Pulls up 18-footer. Right baseline is good. Ryan Richardson with 20 and a timeout taken by Iona. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here, I believe. Nope, it's being extended to a full. So 6:09 to go. It's now Iona 71 and the Wildcats 59 here on 1430 KLO. Wildcat basketball brought to you in part by Weber State Credit Union. Get to your next vacation even faster with a Wildcat card from Weber State Credit Union. This card allows you to give back to Weber State while earning rewards for yourself. Learn more and apply today at weberstatecu.com. Iona ball with a 12-point lead. We're down to 6:05 to go here in regulation. Ricky McGill flips it to the left side, and Deshaun Much. Much gives it to Lewis on the left sideline. Picks up the dribble, flips it to the elbow, and Edogi, who gives it back to Lewis. Lewis, the pass to Lewis, intercepted by Harding. He'll go on. Much tries to dunk it and has it come out. Back the other way. Edogi had it, lost it, stolen away by Kozak for the Wildcats. Eric Harding tried to go with a right-hand jam, and it rattled out on him. That would have gotten the Wildcats to within 10. Here's Richardson for three, in and out. Rebound, Kozak fakes, fires, and is fouled. As he got McGill in the air, or no, he got Edogi in the air. And he landed on his back to pick up his third foul. Common foul, so it'll be Wildcat ball to inbound. Left baseline, Jarek Harding to trigger. Jarek 11 out of 19 from the field, including 3 of 5 from three-point range and 2 of 3 at the line. Lobs it out long to Burkott Chapman, out there with 4 fouls now. The Wildcats need him down the stretch. Harding double team to the front court, drives by, around the double team to the basket along the left baseline and lays it in. Jarek Harding with 29. 71-61. The Wildcats back to within 10 with 5 minutes to go. Wildcats on a 9-0 run. Much left right wing. Three-pointer, nothing but net for Deshaun Much. He's got 12 points. And it's 74-61 Iona. Harding into the forecourt. Hands off to Richardson. Out top, Kozak swings it left for Chapman. Burkott looking inside, nothing there. Flips it to the foul line, and Braxton. Sack one dribble, hands to Richardson. Curls into the lane, stops. Step back 14-footer is good. Ryan Richardson with 22, 15 here in the second half. 74-63, Wildcats down 11, 4:20 to go. McGill between the circles. This already a higher scoring game than last year's 76-54 contest. Casimir, right wing, 3 balls short. Rebound, Braxton for the Wildcats. Chance to cut the deficit into single digits. Harding up the right side, veers into the middle, into the lane, throws up a runner, in and out. Edogi with a rebound. Edogi with a rebound, throws it ahead for Lewis, and Lewis gives it back. And Edogi with the one-hand jam. He's got 16 points. 76-63 Iona. TK Edogi, 16 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double. Richardson between the rings around a Braxton screen, but nothing there as Edogi picks him up defensively. Kozak inside for Braxton, low left. Left to right across the lane on Much. Jump hook, no. Rebound tip into the arms of Zach Lewis. Long lead for Edogi, who lays it up and in. TK Edogi now with 18. 78-63, and it's back to a 15-point Iona lead. And the Wildcats are going to take a timeout. They had gotten it down to 10 with a 9-0 run, but Iona has pulled back to a 15-point advantage with 3:07 to go. It's the Gales 78, the Wildcats 63. This is Weber State basketball on 1430 KLO.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home. Hey,
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
you have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
And unless the Wildcats rally here in the final 3:07, there will be no football pregame show. Our conversation with Jay Hill will air at halftime of the basketball game, which will tip off at 12 noon. We'll join football as soon as the game ends here. So the Wildcats have it in the front court, looking to make one last surge. Richardson, top of the arc against Crawford, flips it to Braxton, right side for Harding. Bounce pass inside for Chapman and a foul. As Much not only is called for the foul, he protests too much and gets a technical. So now the Wildcats will get 2 free throws and the ball, as Much will go to the bench and Cedric Casimir will check back in. So Richardson will shoot the technicals. Ryan's first trip to the free throw line in the game. He's 5 of 7 from the stripe so far this year as he rattles the first one home. He's got 23 points in the game, 16 here in the second half. One more for Ryan. That one also rattles home. He's got 24, and the Wildcats trail by 13, 78-65 with 2:54 remaining. And now they will inbound. That was only the 5th team foul on Iona. The Wildcats only have 2 team fouls, so if they want to come back fouling, they're going to have to start fouling pretty soon. All right, Harding, right baseline inbound. Plays it into Kozak, who hands it back to Jarek, who runs it back out top. Harding to the left side, bounce pass down low left to Braxton on the blocks. He's double teamed, runs out of it with a dribble, hands to Chapman out top. 8 to shoot. Chapman hands to Harding. Jarek behind the Chapman screen, rattles a three-pointer, in and out. Rebound, Edogi, and a foul underneath. And I believe that's on Chapman. That's his 5th. Nope. That'll be on Michael Kozak, and that's his 2nd. 3rd team foul on the Wildcats. And so with 2:34 remaining here in the ball game, it's a 78-65 Iona lead. And so it'll be Ricky McGill. He'll give it up to Zach Lewis, right side for Casimir. Gives it up to McGill as Iona will run a weave here and take some time off the ticker. Lewis out top with 12 to shoot. Jump pass into the left corner for Edogi. Edogi hands there to Lewis. His three-pointer's no good. Edogi reaches out, tries to save the rebound, but it's out of bounds off of Casimir. And so it'll be Wildcat ball with 2:04 to go, down by 13. Substitution is Roland Griffin checks in for Iona, replacing Casimir. Now here's Jarek Harding down the middle of the floor, throws it right side for Richardson. Nothing there for Ryan. Goes left for Chapman. Steps into a 3, way offline. Lewis the rebound for Iona. Zach Lewis for the Gales as we're nearing 100 seconds to go. Right sideline with it is McGill. McGill dribbles to the right corner, curls back around an Edogi screen. Out top Griffin. Griffin to Edogi. Lob pass inside, tipped by Braxton, taken out of the air by Chapman. Burkott Chapman down the floor. Left corner pass to Richardson for 3, zingo the strings. Ryan Richardson with 27. And the Wildcats are within 10, but we're down to 1:15 to go. 78-68. McGill guarded by Richardson. McGill dribbling through a double team, gets it away to Griffin. 14 to shoot. Roland Griffin against Kozak, throws it left for Edogi. Edogi dribbles between the circles, hands to Lewis. Lewis throws up a floater for Edogi on the lob, who slams it in. TK Edogi now with 20, and it's 80-68 Iona. Right sideline, Richardson. Left side, Chapman. Bounce pass into the lane, Kozak. Underneath for Braxton, and the two-hand slam for Zach. He's got 6. 80-70. It was a 10-point differential at the half, and it's a 10-point game now, but in between, the Wildcats trailed by, well, actually had a chance to, they actually took a lead in by 2 points here in the second half, but then fell behind by as many as 15. Roland Griffin drives on Kozak, pulls up, 10-footer, in and out. Rebound, Edogi, back up, no. Griffin's follow tip won't fall. Harding gets the slap out. Here is Harding on the drive, all the way to the basket, through a double team, he lays it in. Jarek with a career-high 31. 80-72, but the clock's going to run out in the Iona backcourt. Now McGill will bring it to the forecourt to run out the clock, and that will do it here in the opening round of the Islands of the Bahamas Showcase. Our final score, the Iona Gales 80 and the Weber State Wildcats 72. We'll be back with our post-game coverage right after this here on 1430 KLO.